Here comes Speed Racer, he's a demon on wheels.
A white race car screams across the screen, but the real speed was off-screen. In 1967, a small Japanese studio pushed out a racing anime that looked simple, yet hid shortcuts, strange edits, and risky choices. Some secrets live in the drawings, others live in the English words you grew up hearing, and it starts even earlier than you think. Fact 1. The 30-minute clock that forced the cuts. Picture this. Teen racer Go Mifune drives the Mach, a gadget car with 7 secret devices, but the official listing shows the pressure point. 1967 television, 30 minutes per episode, and 52 episodes total. That half-hour box forces sharp pacing. Races must start fast. Dangers must pop instantly, and the ending has to snap shut before the clock hits 0. When time is that tight, animators are pushed toward reuse, quick cuts, and bold, readable poses. Even the story mix matters. Romance and suspense are baked in, so the show can jump from a chase to a mystery without slowing down. That's why the series feels like it's always sprinting, even when the drawings barely move. The speed is often editing, not motion, and every shortcut leaves a clue. And once you notice that, the next question is obvious. Who built this machine, and why did it have to run so hard? But the studio's own origin is the next clue. Fact 2. Tatsunoko's promise. Dreams for children of the world. Listen closely. Before the Mach ever hit a cell, Tatsunoko already had a mission. On its official company page, Tatsunoko says founder Tatsuo Yoshida repeated the line, "Dreams for children of the world." The company lists its establishment date as the 19th of October 1962. It also spells out a business reality many fans miss. Tatsunoko isn't only an animation studio, it sells broadcasting and licensing rights worldwide. That means export isn't a side effect, it's built into the business model. That is why licensing mattered first. It paid the bills and kept the lights on. So when the racing series later sends Go around the world, it doesn't feel like a random travel gimmick. It looks like the kind of premise that travels well across borders. A kid anywhere can understand speed, rivals, and gadgets. In other words, the global feeling is part story, part strategy, and strategies usually start in print first, because print is cheaper, faster, and easier to test. That's exactly what happened next. Fact 3. Before the anime, the manga that built the blueprint. Here's the twist. The franchise did not start on TV. It started as manga, first, quietly. Research references note that Tatsuo Yoshida created the story, and that it ran in Shueisha's Shonen Book magazine from 1966 to 1968. One summary explains the motive clearly. Yoshida drew the manga to build support for the animation version. That is a plan, not luck. The manga acted like a sandbox. It let the creator test rival drivers, gadget logic, and the mix of racing plus crime plots before the animation staff had to animate them weekly. It also created a blueprint for characters and tone before any English edits could rename or reshape them. So if you ever feel like the dub and the Japanese version are two different shows, remember this. The earliest baseline was ink on paper, written by the studio's own founder. The animation was the second step, not the first. And turning paper speed into moving cells required a tight core team with very specific jobs. Fact 4. The core team that carried the whole series. Now look at the credits. They reveal how small the real engine was. Production reference lists name Hiroshi Sasagawa as chief director, with Jinzo Toriumi as planner and chief writer, and Nobuyoshi Koshibe as the music composer. The same sources list Mitsuki Nakamura as art director and Masami Suda as a key animation lead. That cluster matters because a car chase show lives on coordination. Scripts must hand off cleanly to layouts. Layouts must set up mechanical action, and music must hit the moment a stunt lands. With a small core, the series can keep one strong feel, but it also becomes fragile. If any link slips, the whole episode slips, and cars are the hardest link. Wheels, reflections, dust, and impact have to read instantly. Under TV deadlines, that pushes teams toward repeated cycles, background tricks, and simple silhouettes that still feel fast. The credits don't just name people, they expose the pressure. Specialists doing too much, too often, and that pressure shaped the look you remember. Fact 5. The missing tool that shaped the show's look. Here's a reported production problem that changes the visuals. A detailed analysis notes the show aimed for more realistic, detailed designs, especially cars. Before tracing machines became common in Japanese animation, without that transfer tool, clean consistency from drawing to cell was harder. So the art department and an internal photography crew had to pick up the slack. That is quiet, brutal workload. It means people and cameras were doing jobs later technology would automate. And it helps explain why the series leans on strong lighting, airbrushed highlights, and thick shadows to sell metal and speed. When you can't copy perfectly, you fake real with effects, speed, smears, glows, and bold reflections. Some frames look bold, painted on purpose. The hidden cost is simple. Some iconic visuals were survival hacks, built to hide missing tools and save time. The drawings look confident, but the process was a workaround. And the story itself was also designed to help the team by never staying in one place too long. Fact 6. Why the story keeps jumping around the world. Listen to the official synopsis. Go speeds around the world. And that choice is more than adventure. It gives the production a trick. New locations can refresh your eyes even when animation is limited on a budget. A desert, a jungle, a snowfield, each new backdrop makes reused motion feel new again. It also lets writers switch genres on demand. The same Tatsunoko description says the racing story includes romantic and suspenseful elements, so an episode can jump from a race to a mystery or a rescue without needing a huge animation upgrade. And the Mach 7 secret devices are perfect for global storytelling. Gadgets are visual. A child can understand jump, shield, or cut in any language. That universality makes the series easier to export, and it makes stakes easy to read fast. So the world hopping is both creative and practical. It keeps the show moving and keeps the brand portable. But the biggest portable change came when English had to fit Japanese mouth flaps. Fact 7. The hidden order. Americanize it. The English version began with one order. In a long interview, adapter Peter Fernandez said the distributor's only real instruction was Americanize it. He also explained the problem. The Japanese translation scripts he received were very crude, but good enough if he understood what was happening. That crude material opened a door. It meant he could rename characters, reshape jokes, and write lines that sounded natural in English while still landing on the right timing. He was timing every syllable to match drawings. This is a true behind-the-scenes twist. The English track is not a mirror, it is a reconstruction. Fernandez wasn't simply translating. He was building a new script that had to start and end exactly when animated mouths did. That's why the dub feels like it has its own personality. It does. The words were engineered to fit pictures, not the other way around. And once you accept that, the next secret is even bigger. Many famous lines were invented, not translated. Fact 8. The lines that were invented for the dub. Fernandez openly said he had to invent dialogue. Because the translations were crude, he explains that he invented most of the dialogue. That's huge. It means the English Speed Racer, many fans quote, is in part original writing done in the dubbing room. He also explains the craft. A sync script must sound natural and hit key mouth shapes, especially M, B, and P, while starting and ending on time. So the dub becomes a puzzle with rules. That puzzle changes tone. Heroes can sound more righteous. Villains can sound more silly. Even family emotion can shift because different words fit better. It also explains exaggerated names. Clear sounds are easier to track and remember when plots move fast. The hidden cost is not that anyone lied. It's that the audience never saw the engineering. Viewers never got a warning. What feels like weird, old dialogue is actually a technical solution. And technical solutions sometimes hide another problem. Content that had to be cut. Fact 9. The scenes US TV wouldn't allow. In the US, the series hit a wall. Violence standards. A reference history explains the show was seen as too violent for American TV, so the English team removed the most violent scenes, dubbed the dialogue, and sold the package into syndication. Cutting animation is messy. If you remove a hit, a fall, or a weapon shot, you must stitch the gap with a reaction face, a new line, or a sudden cut to a car wheel. That changes story clarity and pacing. It can make episodes feel jumpy, like they teleport between beats. So some plot holes viewers laugh at, maybe edit scars, not writing mistakes. And edits can also change character motive, because the missing moment might have explained why someone ran or fought. The quiet truth is that many viewers never watched the original storyboard plan. They watched a rebuild. That rebuild made the series famous, but it also reshaped it. And the team doing that rebuild was shockingly small. Fact 10. A tiny voice cast built an entire world. The dub sounds like a crowd, but it was a handful of people. Fernandez said the project was turned over to him, and he wrote and directed it. He also cast himself as Speed Racer and Racer X, what he called the two best parts, and hired a few friends for the rest. A tiny cast explains a lot. When the same voices cover many roles, performances must be bold and distinct because there's no time for subtle realism, it also makes the track feel like a fast radio play, energetic, clear, and always moving. Fernandez's interview also shows the economics behind that choice. He describes how writing and directing paid better than acting, so he pushed to control the process. That means the dub's tone is not accidental. It reflects one person's taste under tight limits. Personal, fast, and very direct. The cheerful theme song sits on top of a work system built for speed and survival, and the pay reveals how hard that survival was. Fact 11. The shocking pay per episode. No residuals. A single number exposes the harsh deal. Fernandez said he earned $62.50 per episode for acting on Speed Racer, with no residuals. So even if the show reran for years, that acting pay did not grow. He also said animated dubbing in those days did not pay much at all. That changes how you read the dub's intensity. When the pay is small and the schedule is packed, you work fast, you reuse what you can, and you jump to the next job. It rewards stamina, not perfection. It also explains why imported animation often felt like a hustle. You had to finish, deliver, and move on. The hidden cost isn't a hidden crime. It's an industry reality. Classic TV animation and dubbing often ran on low fees. People built something iconic while being paid like it was disposable. That tension lives in the track. Every line feels urgent because, for them, it was. And that urgency is literally audible in the fast talk. Fact 12. The real reason the dialogue sounds so fast. The fast dialogue was born from mouth flaps, not a comedy plan. Fernandez explained that he sometimes wrote speeches that had to be rattled off quickly because the animated lips were flapping like crazy, and he was trying to make it look like English. Animation locks timing. Japanese phrasing and English phrasing rarely fit the same mouth movement, so the script had to stretch, compress, or swap, meaning just to land on time. That creates the famous machine gun rhythm. It also encourages sound filler, quick breaths, grunts, and reactions, because silence looks wrong when mouths move, so even calm scenes feel packed. The quiet truth is that what we remember as the Speed Racer sound is partly a technical compromise. It's the sound of solving a mismatch, episode after episode, and yet that compromise became a signature style people love. It's proof that pressure can create identity for kids at home. Decades later, fans can finally hear the difference, because the show's archive life has changed. Fact 13. The official comeback. Two versions side by side. This 1,967 anime is now easier to study than ever. In 2024, Shout! Studios announced that all 52 episodes of Speed Racer would hit major digital platforms on June 1, and that the original Japanese Mach Go 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 series would also be available. Shout's own streaming brand, Tokushotsu, even hosts full episodes online. That matters because it lets anyone compare versions, which scenes were cut, which music cues differ, and how the pacing shifts when dialogue changes. It also shows a final secret. This series has never been one fixed object. It has been many masters, many edits, and many releases shaped by whoever held the rights and the best materials at the time. Now, those layers are visible. The mystery isn't fading. It's multiplying, because people can finally line up the Japanese track beside the English one and hear where the Americanize it choices land. And once you start comparing, you realize the real story isn't only on screen, it's in every decision behind it. So next time the Mach blasts forward, remember what was racing behind it. Deadlines, missing tools, crude translations, and tiny crews making big choices. Some dark secrets are simply the cost of getting animation on TV, week after week. With both Japanese and English versions now easy to compare, the mystery is finally visible today, and it changes everything forever.